Hello and welcome to 9.4 Arithmetic Series. So let's talk about arithmetic series. All right, so a series is just a number of objects, a row. But unlike a sequence, when in math we use series, we're talking about their sum. So we're going to have it's going to be the addition of the terms. So as a sequence, we just had like a list of numbers. For a series, we're going to have a sum of numbers. We can have a finite series like this, where we have a specific number of terms and the ends, and we can sum them up easily. You can also have an infinite series where you just have an infinite number of numbers, and in that case, you may or may not have a finite sum. So if you think about generally speaking, right, if this sequence continued on and on forever, and therefore this series continued on and on forever, then I wouldn't have a finite sum. My sum would go off to infinity because its numbers are just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. However, sometimes if our numbers are getting smaller or something like that, we can end up having a finite sum even if we have an infinite series. So that can happen. Anyway, so a finite series looks like this. It just stops. Right? An infinite series, however, is going to have a plus dot dot dot. Okay? So we've got that plus dot dot dot. That means I'm adding on forever and ever. So these two would be infinite and this one would be finite. So let's do some examples. So in this example, we're looking at a sum of specifically an arithmetic series. So remember, an arithmetic sequence was where we're adding the same thing each time. That's what made it arithmetic. So this formula we're about to use works if we're finding the sum of an arithmetic series, specifically a finite one. As you'll see, the formula doesn't really work if it's not finite. So let's go ahead and do that. So for this series, I want to find the sum. I'm going to use this formula that says the sum is equal to the number of terms divided by 2 times the first term plus the last term. So we have to have the last term, therefore this has to be a finite series, right? So I have five terms, so I'm going to have the sum over 5 terms equals the number of terms divided by 2 times the first term plus the last term. And so then I, either in my head or in a calculator, I would do that math and I would get 80. So my sum, if I add all these together, would get 80. So if you want to check on your own, you can add all these numbers together and see if you get 80, which is definitely what you should get because this formula works. But if you want to prove that to yourself, go ahead and do that. All right, so now let's do the second example. So this time I have 6 terms. So I'm going to have the sum over 6 terms is number of terms divided by 2 times first term plus the last term. Okay. 6 terms divided by 2, first term, last term. Okay. So if we put that in a calculator or in our head, we can do that is going to be 114. So if we add all these together, we're going to get 114. Hopefully all of this makes sense, and I will see you in the next video.